We all know how this is going to end. Calgary in November, confetti, and a champion. That's the certain part.
The long wait's over, I can feel it rise from the frozen edge to the open sky. Bring on the first whistle, bring on the roar. I've been waiting all winter for one thing more. CFL, CFL, let it shake this town. CFL, CFL, kick the season down. Is underway.
Where we are at right now, even with all the planning and hard work, are the finishing touches for 9 teams and their best guess.
And we are ready for some CFL football.
So strap on the pads, put on a helmet, and hit the other guy on a hunch that you're tougher, more equipped, better prepared to deal with the next 6 months of smash or be smashed. Try it sometime. Maybe then it'll be easier to understand why this season is, was, will be like every new season. Right now, when that helmet goes on, nothing is a guess. It's belief.
Come on! It's our time! It's our time!
It's why Trevor Harris is back with the Grey Cup champion Saskatchewan Roughriders, who now consider themselves the standard. But a league can't have 2 of those teams. Not when the Bombers still think the same way, too. And you know somewhere inside Joel DeBlanco, Keon Hatcher, Justin Harden, Cameron Judge, and Florian Arumalade, our time isn't an affirmation. It's all-consuming because it feels real to them.
Let's go, guys!
And when thinking about Hamilton and championships, the only guarantee is violent persistence. So Wynton McManus will fit right in. Because when the deep belief in one becomes a shared belief in dozens, carried through 18 games while the weather gets worse, then it really feels inspiring. And inspiration is just the mind predicting something incredible is about to happen.
To the races! Touchdown! Touchdown! Kenny Lawler! Ridiculous! How about Derek Lucas? Did he catch it? Oh my goodness!
Unbelievable.
Kick the seas! The remarkable work strikes again! Oh, are you kidding me, Emilus?
What a pick by Robert Carter.
Sports Center, get ready.
From here, they can all see confetti and a champion. Welcome to the 2026 CFL season.
A new CFL season kicks off on Thursday as all 9 teams look to be in Calgary, Alberta for the 113th Grey Cup, the city hosting the championship for the 6th time, obviously hoping their Stampeders are playing on November the 15th. But as we know, in the CFL, anything can happen between now and then. With the parity higher than ever, it is anyone's guess who will be at McMahon Stadium. Hello, Canada, and welcome to the CFL on TSN preview show. Kate Burness alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stiegel will be with us all season long. The boys are back, and they are fired up. Enoch, you were just talking about the big hits you can't wait to see.
Yes, I can't wait to see the big hits, Kate. And we're going to be on location in a few different cities.
Every
so
city.
I can't wait to be there in person and hear the pads clacking. Pop, pop, pop. I love to see some of these guys, new familiar faces in new places. That's one of the things for me. It's some of these teams, Ottawa is one of them. We know RD is going to make a difference. How much of a difference can he make Ottawa a contender? People now have bullseyes on them, like the Nathan Rourke, BC, Sask. Can they continue to play at the high level? That's what's most interesting to me is after a whole offseason, a new year, are things the same or how much are they different?
It is like Christmas Eve right now. It feels like something huge is upon us. This should be a fantastic season. Jez, you were mentioning all the teams. We're going to break them all down in this show. And we, of course, start with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the defending Grey Cup champions. And here are the 3 most impactful players via Farhan Lalji.
While the fan base continues to celebrate their 2025 title, head coach Corey Mace and GM Jeremy O'Day knew they would be hard-pressed to keep the core of their roster together. There have been plenty of changes on both sides of the ball, primarily at receiver and defensive line. And that's where the opportunities come for the next wave of impact players.
End zone touchdown! Kean Schaefer-Baker bounces off the contact, takes it to the house.
Kean Schaefer-Baker has been an impact player in the CFL before, and there is simply no doubting his talent. But he's missed 26 games over the past 3 seasons. And with the depth receivers this team has lost this offseason, they need Schaefer-Baker to be available. And if he is, Trevor Harris will find him often.
Oh, ball's out as it pops onto the ground here, picked up by Winnipeg, and James Botters rumble into the end zone.
Defensively, among the losses was Malik Carney, so James Botters was brought in to help fill the void. He's 32, still has some gas left in the tank, and will look to increase his sack total from 6 a year ago on a team looking for some push off the edges. And on special teams, Super Mario is gone. James Letcher has been brought in from Montreal. He played only half a season last year, but had 2,000 return yards in 2024.
The Riders have never won back-to-back Grey Cups in franchise history. Will this year finally be the year? Enoch, as Farhan just explained there were some key losses to this team, but overall, you could argue that the continuity, once again, is very high, and what Jeremy O'Day has done putting together a championship team remains in place. Is it enough right now, particularly with a guy like Trevor Harris leading the way at 40 years old, to get it done once again?
Yeah, this is going to be a difficult one, Kate. You look at this team and the changes that they've had. Yes, they've replaced them, but the question is it going to be enough? And I look at the defense, on the defensive side of the ball. You look at Carney. When they needed a play, they went to Carney. They put him in one-on-one matchup for him to get to the quarterback. This is the reason why their defense was so effective. Corey Mace's defense always run on just that, having good enough pressure up front. He adds a combination of different blitzes, different looks up front to let the quarterbacks on the opposite end of on the opposite side just throw the ball up for their DBs to make plays. But Vodders, will he be enough to replace Carney is my biggest question, and we'll have to see.
Yeah, they have, you said their secondary, they have playmakers back there. So there are some new pieces on that defense, but the secondary is intact, and for the most part, and that's the thing for me. I look at that group back there. I have a lot of faith in what Josh Bell can do. He's a smart mind back there in the secondary. And then just the fact that they have playmakers back there in that group. In the CFL, especially in the West, when you have all those quarterbacks and explosive offenses, you have to have playmakers that can take the ball away, and Sass does that.
And just the trust in Corey Mace, too. I mean, when you have a head coach like that, too, coming off Coach of the Year, I mean, you got to think that these guys want to play for him. They want to win for him, and they, of course, want to win for the province of Saskatchewan. We'll see if they can do it back-to-back. Coming up after the break, we tee up the Montreal Alouettes, who got oh so close to a Grey Cup. Is Davis Alexander the guy? Is he the next franchise quarterback for the Montreal Alouettes?
Alexander, he throws over the top. Rambo dropped it in the bucket for a touchdown.
Davis Alexander has had a scorching start to his career.
How else would you ever be? Right. 26,000 versus 100. I take off every time.
To the end zone. Got it. Touchdown, Montreal. Mr. Perfect, 13-0.
And it's intercepted. Third time that Alexander's picked.
It's definitely going to eat me up for a little bit, but, I'll definitely vow to come back stronger, vow to come back better.
The 2026 season kicks off on Thursday night. It is a rematch of the Eastern Final between the Tiger Cats and the Alouettes. Friday Night Football features a Western clash between the Stampeders and the Blue Bombers. And Week 1 wrapping up Saturday night in the nation's capital with two teams who have reshaped their rosters in the offseason in the Red Blacks and the Elks. Here now is Dave Naylor on the Alouettes' most impactful players.
The Montreal Alouettes made precious few additions this offseason to the team that lost in the Grey Cup game last November. But they should get a major boost this season if their two most talented players on offense can manage to stay healthy.
Alexander the Great strikes. Touchdown.
Quarterback Davis Alexander demonstrated why the Owls handed him the #1 job, dazzling with both his legs and his arm, while a hamstring injury limited him to just 8 regular season games. Meanwhile, receiver Tyson Philpott continued to show why he's among the league's best, while being available for just 12 regular season games in 2025. The Owls' biggest splash this offseason comes on defense, where former Penn State Nittany Lion Jonathan Sutherland is expected to take over from the retired Marc-Antoine Dequoy at safety. The Ottawa native Sutherland was the 5th pick of the CFL draft 3 seasons ago, and after a diversion to the NFL, is ready to show why Montreal has been willing to wait on him.
This team certainly starts and ends with Davis Alexander. He missed 11 games last season, and we all look at his health and think, you know what, if he is healthy, this team, in my opinion, is completely unstoppable. I mean, the way he plays, the way he starts every regular season game and ends up winning it. But is that enough, is the question, and who they've lost and who they've brought in, Enoch? Can the Owls go back to the Grey Cup?
Oh, okay. This not only, if you put health aside, this Davis Alexander is one of those players that, as great as he's been so far, he's going to have to improve even more. Now, yes, he's missed so many games, and one of the things that happens when you miss the games, you don't play as much. And because he doesn't play as much, there's not as much film on him. Now there's plenty of film on him, and there's a lot of teams that are going to prepare for him properly when they go against him. Look, teams are going to start now putting more guys in coverage. They're going to force him to stay in the pocket and throw, get to the second read, take away his first option. Can he do that? Is he going to improve as a quarterback, as a true quarterback, or is he going to continue to run around as well? If he's able to do that, this team is going to continue to take steps forward.
Yeah, expect bigger roles for Alex Hollins, Stearns, the receiving core. They lost some pieces, so adding those guys in or increase roles as well. But this defense, I mean, when you have the formula always is good quarterback and a defense in this league over and over again. And Montreal has both. I say it over and over again. Noel Thorpe is underrated because you plug and play the pieces. But you ask offensive coordinators, you ask quarterbacks who the toughest defense to prepare for is, often it's Montreal. And they fly around, they give you so many different looks. We agree, Tyrese Beverett is an absolute monster. And then you also get a healthy Mustafa Johnson. That's key. Having Johnson back, who was one of the most dominant interior linemen in the game, getting him back and healthy is huge in that Noel Thorpe defense. So I just think with the quarterback play and the dominant defense they have, Montreal's going to be right there at the top. If they're not the most talented team if they're not the most talented team in the East, they're the second.
It's the system that Noel Thorpe has, put into that defense. And you look at the diversity that they have on defense and how very versatile they are. Each of those players can play multiple positions.
Which is the key.
Mustafa Johnson, as you mentioned, is one guy that he could put in the middle and just bet on him every single time.
We didn't even mention Isaac Adeyemi-Berglund as well, too. I mean, they have so much talent on that side of the ball, too, so we'll see how they fare. And guess what? The odds makers, they like them to be in the Grey Cup this year. 2 teams have shorter than 4-1 odds to win the Grey Cup over at FanDuel, and neither of them is the defending Grey Cup champion. The Alouettes are the favorite to win it all after falling just short last season. The Lions a close second, right behind Montreal, and yes, ahead of Saskatchewan at 6-1 to repeat as Grey Cup champions. And not a lot of love to the Edmonton Elks, coming in at last at plus 1,900. Look, the start for Edmonton last year was bad, but then they were able to turn it around. And then guess what? We saw a little bit of continuity on this team. We liked what Mark Killam was doing. And look, they're just going to build off this, and they're bringing in a couple of really big pieces too. Enoch, will the Elks be better than what we saw last season?
100%.
I agree.
They are one of the reasons why we keep talking about how competitive the West is going to be. And you look at Justin Rankin, you look at Cody Fajardo. These guys have figured things out on that offense. They figured things out on this team. They seem to be in a better place as an organization as a whole. And now they're entering into year 2, and they saw some light, some show. They showed a lot of promise last year, especially at the end, and they showed a lot of consistency. I'm looking to Justin Rankin this year. He's going to have explosive games, which he always does, and he's going to be the focal point from that offense. And Cody Fajardo is going to start slicing and dicing.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Talk to me.
You said 100%. They're going to be a better team. So now they have to. When we look at improvement, there's got to be someone they knock off in the West. Are they They were the last in the West last year. Are they going to be better than Calgary? Are they going to be better than Winnipeg? Better than Sask? Who are they going to be better than this year in the West?
I think they take a step forward closer to Winnipeg. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I think
I look at this team, and I don't know if they're going to be better, and I'm not, every team, that's the great thing about this league is you enter with just a couple tweaks and health, and you can be right there. There's nothing that I see that tells me, talent-wise, that they're going to be a better team. I do like the culture. You ask around, the culture that they're building there, everyone likes the direction they're going, so I like that. But just pure roster, I don't know if there's any roster in the West that I'll put them ahead of right now. And for that reason, let's see what happens.
And I think that's the point, too. I mean, the parity in the West. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, they might take a step forward, but again, because the West is so dominant.
Look at the quarterbacks.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
But at least they know, too, that they're going in with Cody Fajardo, and he's your guy. Yeah. So there you have stability right off the top. But as I said, absolutely anything can happen. Coming up after the break, our Matthew Shinetti sits down with Argonauts starting quarterback Chad Kelly.
Last half full enough.
The winner of the George Reed Most Outstanding Player is Chad Kelly.
End zone touchdown! That is a strike!
Kelly escapes, stays on his feet, far side, got a man! What a play from Kelly.
Kelly is hurt and he is down.
Prayers up for Chad Kelly. Hopefully he gets well soon.
My brother, we did it for you, man.
Chad Kelly did not play a snap of football this season.
The big story is who is back and ready to go, and that is quarterback Chad Kelly.
I feel great. I feel like I can do everything I want to do. And, it's fun being out there with the guys. It is so much fun.
Chad Kelly hasn't played a meaningful football game since the Eastern Final in 2024 when he suffered that brutal leg injury. The former MOP led the Argonauts to a franchise record-tying 16 wins in 2023. Kelly was the first Argonauts QB to win the award since 2005 when Damon Allen took home the honors. Here is Kelly with our Matthew Shinetti.
Kelly is hurt and he is down. Serious concern here for Kelly and the Toronto Argonauts.
Could you put into words the last year?
Tough, very difficult. To be inside but outside of the game field is obviously very difficult, but for other instances that you really can't control, you just time. You had to become, your own boss to be like, hey, should I go out there or should I not go out there? Could you give 110%? No, because the bone wasn't fully healed, right? And I think the importance of feeling comfortable mentally and physically is something that an athlete only himself can put into words. Mentally I didn't feel clear and strong and confident to go out there and really execute at a high level. Yeah, I could move around, I could do things, but mentally in my head, I didn't feel like I was in a good place. And, as an athlete, you got to be mentally strong, you got to be mentally prepared to go out there to war,
When did you start feeling more like yourself?
Well, the minute that I got told it was fully healed in January was when I was like, okay, something turned and said, okay, you're good to go, you're ready to go.
Back come the Argos, caught, touchdown, DeBaris Daniels.
Big play team showing they can get it done.
When you see some of the young quarterbacks who are building their own reputations in the league, I'm thinking of Nathan Rourke, and I'm thinking of Davis Alexander, and again, knowing that the competitor you are and that your body has now given you that signal, take the handbrake off. How much are you excited to match, even though you don't face them one-to-one, but to go ahead and say, yeah, you guys have showed what you can do, but just wait and see what I can do?
Yeah, I think, like you said, you're not playing against them, you're playing against, the defense, right? And you're playing against yourself. Obviously, you want to go out there and complete every pass, throw every touchdown and do what you can to obviously bring your team to victory. But, it's not really about that. It's more or less like the work that you put in to get there.
Kelly loads it up, down the field, touchdown Argos!
Everybody knows your connection with Mike Miller. What are you expecting out of him as a head coach?
Just be himself. Like, everything that I've known Mike to be so far since the first day I met him from Zoom meetings in 2022 to where we are now in 2026. He's always been the same guy, and I think he can bring that same attitude each and every day. He has passion. He understands the game from not only an offense perspective, but a defense perspective. He was a defensive coach. He was an offensive line coach, a receivers coach. So he's done it at the very highest level in the NFL and has won a Super Bowl. So he knows coaching. He knows what it takes, and that's all we can ask for is for him to put us in the right positions to manage every situation as need be, and we're going to play for him. We're going to play as hard as we can for him.
What are your goals this season?
Win a Grey Cup.
That's it? Full stop, period?
That's it.
There are a lot of question marks surrounding the Toronto Argonauts, obviously not coming off a great season, but not having their starting QB in Chad Kelly. He spoke about his rookie head coach there and spoke about the fact that he was given clearance in January, that he was fully healthy. But it's just interesting watching him right now, Ches, because I don't think any of us know what to expect.
Yeah, and Matthew Shinetti asked him in the interview, do you want to show the other top quarterbacks in the league that you're that guy? And he kind of, played that one off and said he's not going up against the Nathan Rourke. He's not going up against those other guys. He's going up against, the defense, and his only goal is to win the Grey Cup. I promise you, Chad Kelly, he said it. Chad Kelly said, I'm one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the world, meaning NFL, CFL, I should have a starting job there, or I am the best player here. He believes that. So that's great, because another guy who believes in him, who's that, Enoch?
Mike Miller.
Mike Miller. So this is a perfect fit, because Chad said that what he did wasn't clear mentally. He didn't have the confidence. Now he's said it. He's 100% healthy. He for sure has, he's got the clarity and the confidence now, because the guy that is now his head coach, a lot of reason he got that job is because his relationship with Chad Kelly. So he's got full confidence. He's got full health. And I'm a believer in his talent, so I can't wait to see what he has to do this year.
If you're a fan of any team, right, you're watching the preseason game, you're just wanting to see, hey, is my team back in shape? You don't pay too much attention. This year, you paid attention to Chad Kelly. You saw on the screen there, Chad Kelly had some good runs. And for the amount of time that he missed, this is what you wanted to see for a quarterback like him. And you saw him running around. You saw him take a couple of hits, even from winning McManus. He saw him got some hits, and then he was able to complete some footballs. That's exactly what you wanted to see. But for the Toronto Argonauts, I think the issue is even bigger than just Chad Kelly. Because let's remember, Nick Arbuckle was the starting quarterback last year, and he didn't play terribly. He had some great numbers and great stats, so Chad is going to definitely have to match that as well. But beyond that, I think a bigger issue that Mike Miller is going to have to be concerned with is that running game, the offensive line. Can they protect Chad Kelly? Can they have a running game? Because you can't have Chad Kelly out of the pocket every second play and throwing the ball deep. That is not going to be the recipe for
They got a nice O-line, though. And you know what, too? That receiving core, we were just talking about this, too. The changes that have happened with the Argonauts, too. I look at that receiving core, too, and that's as good as it gets in the league, in my opinion. But we don't talk about the fact, too, that this team isn't playing a home game until August. I mean, that's just something completely out of your control as well. So, I mean, this team's going to have to be on a different level. Speaking of QBs, coming up after the break, we take a look at the reigning MOP, Nathan Rourke.
The 2025 Most Outstanding Player Award goes to Nathan Rourke.
Deep look, touchdown, BC Lions. The remarkable Rourke strikes again. A 70-yard scamper all the way to the end zone.
Touchdown, Nathan Rourke, and the unstoppable BC Lions offense strikes again.
This team is going to go as far as he can carry them, and he can definitely carry them to the Grey Cup.
It's so awesome to be able to play in front of all of you, whether you love me or you hate me. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.
Well, here's a look at the top 10 players from the CFL on TSN rankings of the top 50 players. Nathan Rourke gets 25 of the 28 first-place ballots and a runaway for top spot. He is the sixth different QB to be voted number one, joining Anthony Calvillo, Travis Lulay, Mike Riley, Bo Levi-Mitchell, and Zach Collaros. Here is Farhan Lalji with the most impactful players in BC.
The Lions came agonizingly close to pulling off the upset in Saskatchewan in last year's Western Final. And with reigning MOP Nathan Rourke under center, this team always has a chance to win. But there are others capable of making an impact, starting with running back James Butler.
They get it to his hands again, and look at him go. Butler putting on a clinic.
If they get the run game going, that's going to make Nathan Rourke so much better as a quarterback.
He finished third in the league in rushing a year ago, tied for the league lead in rushing touchdowns with 11. He is as complete a back as there is in the league and offers a perfect security blanket for Rourke.
It's Barry Hill down the seam. He dove, and did he hang on to the football? He did.
Unreal.
Stanley Berryhill is known for his energy and ready to take the next step this season. He's the speedster in BC's receiving corps, and with Aiden Eberhardt moving on, the opportunity is there for Berryhill to slot in behind Keon Hatcher and Justin McInnis as the number 3 option, with plenty of passes to go around. BC's biggest addition this offseason came on defense in Darnell Sankey.
Hey, Coach, why not me, man? Why not us?
Sankey, a tower of power in the middle.
Better get your stuff right, man. Tell the writers to not doubt us again, man.
He's had over 100 tackles in each of his past 2 All-Star seasons.
The BC Lions getting so close to the Grey Cup. They nearly pulled it off in Regina a year ago. And look, with this receiving core and having a guy like Nathan Rourke as your MOP, the addition of a Darnell Sankey, Ches, are they there this season?
Yeah, I mean, they're right there when you look at the roster, for sure. And Farhan said it in that piece. You're looking at an offense. You got Hatch as your number 1 for Nathan. Justin McInnis, a completely different skill set, the huge catch radius and working out the slot in that target for Nathan. And then Berryhill, who Farhan talked about, who can fly and is explosive as heck. So when you have Nathan, with those weapons, this team is, if they can protect. The only issues we ever had with this offense was, can they protect Nathan? When Nathan has time, has clean pocket, this offense with those receivers are virtually unstoppable. And defensively, the big watch for me defensively is, can that veteran secondary stay healthy? Because they have the guys back there, but can those guys stay healthy? If they can, this team is right there at the top of the West.
Yeah, you look at this offense, you can try to stop them, you can do whatever you want, and even when you stop them, it's going to be hard to stop Nathan Rourke. We saw how many times last year, one-on-one in the open field, and he just breaks the tackles like they weren't even there. So he always gives you a chance, Nathan Rourke does. And so, again, you got to look at this defense, Davis. Yeah, you're talking about the secondary and how effective they are, but you need a good front up front. You need a good front if you want to make plays in the secondary. Matthew Betts last year had a slow start. He can't afford to do that this year. This defense needs to jump out of the gates from the very beginning and really, really be effective. If they can't do that, they're going to let this team down once again. But again, what I love that they did is Darnell Sankey. That guy is not just a good player; he is a general on defense. That's a great addition.
Don't forget about adding Tavai as well. Having Tavai as well, add his name to that mix as well.
By the way, Bet started slow, but the way he ended.
Oh yeah.
Oh, if he starts that way, that is a completely different story. All right, from west to east, let's take a look at the most impactful players for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
In Hamilton, Tiger Cats quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell is back for a 14th season, and he will be relying on what should be one of the strongest Canadian receiver duos in the CFL, Keandre Smith and Curly Gittens Jr.
Second and 4 at the 9, touchdown Keandre Smith.
The Keandre Smith show continues.
Take it home. It's done.
Going up for it, and how about that? Curly Gittens. Throw it to 19, that works too. That works too.
Smith has become a prominent piece of Hamilton's offense, entering a 5th CFL season, coming off his first 1,000-yard campaign, while Gittens returns to the East after 2 seasons in Toronto, where he was a 1,000-yard receiver with the Argos in 2022 and possesses some of the field-stretching ability to make up for the loss of receiver Tim White to free agency. Meanwhile, on defense, there is a new man in the middle for Hamilton, with last year's rookie sensation Devin Barasek gone to the NFL. In comes Winton McManus.
And taken away by McManus. Winton McManus with the impact play.
I'm the best.
Former Stampeder and Argonaut, who packs a rare combination of speed and physicality to make his presence known in his new home down the highway.
Will this finally be the year for the Hamilton Tiger Cats? The Tiger Cats have not won a Grey Cup since 1999. They have appeared in 4 championship games since that last win. The BC Lions have the next longest drought after that, not winning since 2011 when they defeated the Blue Bombers at home at BC Place. And it's interesting, a lot of people have the Lions and the Tiger Cats meeting up in Calgary for the Grey Cup. You look at this Tiger Cat team, look, talent galore. And it starts with Bo Levi Mitchell and a Kenny Lawler. I mean, the connection that we saw last year, and it just grows and grows and grows. It's a duo that's really unstoppable if connecting, Enoch.
You can't stop them. And the complementary pieces as well are going to add to the effectiveness and the impact that this offense has. And you look at Bo Levi Mitchell, he's going to be on point. We know that. But I look at this defense as well. You look at this defense, you add a Wynton McManus, which is a piece that I thought that they needed. Kenny Lawler and Bo Levi Mitchell, you know these plays are going to happen. But Wynton McManus on defense is the guy that I'm looking at right now. When you look at what happened in preseason already, and he already got hurt. They talked about it being a precautionary kind of thing where they're keeping him more off the field. But he needs to come back and be healthy, because what he does to the team and what he adds to the team is not just big plays, but he adds possession. And this offense with Bo Levi and the arsenal that he has at his disposal is going to be extremely dangerous.
You've been talking all day yesterday as we got ready for this show. There's one guy you kept raving about, and then you didn't even bring him up. Keandre Smith.
Keandre Smith. He's the guy that everybody sleeps on.
Right.
But he makes plays. Go ahead.
We watch games, and he's the guy who always, when they need a big play, a tough catch. I think Keandre is physical. He'll go inside, make tough catches across the middle. He makes big first downs when they need him, run after catch. I think Keandre Smith does a lot of things for this offense. It's not the primary, but in the secondary receiving core that I think go unnoticed. And he got paid in the offseason, well-deserved, but he's become a key and a trusted target for Bo.
He's an interesting player, because you look at this offense and how there's so much attention that you got to put on Bo, you got to put on Kenny. And then Keandre kind of flies under the radar, and he makes plays, and he's consistent. He's a guy that Bo Levi Mitchell knows. If Kenny's not there, I can always go back to him, and he's going to get a first down some way, somehow.
Yeah.
And Tim White was that guy, too. And I get it, too. There were moments where he didn't show up last season, but you're missing a guy now like Tim White. But you're right, Keandre Smith now obviously becomes that number 2 option, and it's such a great offense if clicking.
Okay, but you remember last year the diamond chain he wore outside his uniform. Well, he got a new contract. Imagine what he's going to wear now.
Double the size?
Imagine what he's going to wear now.
He's doubling up. It's 2 chains now.
Little Pee-wee, take it easy, Keandre. We don't need not too much diamonds on the broadcast.
All right, these two are great, but we're missing someone here in the bunch. Coming up after the break, Milt Stegall stops by to chat about his Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Make no mistake, this man right here, he is the focal point for this offense.
Dembski! How did he do that? Oh, Dembski's ridiculous!
He's a Swiss Army knife, really. And when he comes in and makes plays, he is extremely effective.
The Bombers hosted the Grey Cup in 2025, but were nowhere near the big game. As a result, the team spent more on free agents in the offseason than we're used to seeing in an effort to return to their lofty status atop the West this year. But it might be the addition of their new offensive coordinator, Tommy Condell, which could allow Zach Collaros to lead our list of impact players.
Collaros now, far side of the field, drops it in there. How about that from Zach?
Statistically, 2025 was Collaros' worst season as a Bomber, but he and Condell have tremendous belief in one another, which could allow Collaros to return to all-star form. And it's not just his new OC that will have Collaros excited.
Right on cue, Tim White will walk it in.
The addition of Tim White will create opportunities all over the field. White has posted 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons with 31 TDs during that stretch, and he's as durable a receiver as you'll find, missing just 3 games in 5 seasons in Hamilton.
Tries to find the first down marker, but the ball pops out. Jonathan Moxey knocked it loose.
Defensively, meanwhile, Jonathan Moxey will bring some experience and savvy to a head coach who just loves his veteran players.
Joined now by the one and only Milt Stegall, who, of course, will be part of the panel all this season. And, Milt, let's chat about your Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Is the addition of Tim White enough to bring back the explosiveness of this Winnipeg offense?
Without a doubt. Tim White is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated, disrespected players in this league. And I understood why Hamilton had to move on from him. They're paying, receivers a lot of money over there. But Tim White, one of the few receivers who've had over the last 4 years over 1,000 yards. He is a big play receiver. He's still a number one receiver. Will they utilize him that way? That remains to be seen because they still have Nick Dembski. They have Ontario Pokey Wilson. So they have some weapons, but Tim White is still that guy. And I think he will show it once again. So Zach is once again in position to go out there and make some plays with his great receivers. He has to make sure that long ball is on point because he has a guy in Tim White who can definitely go out there and make it happen.
Milt, last season we saw Zach Collaros take a lot of hits. What does Tommy Condell need to do to protect his QB at all costs?
Well, he needs to do whatever it takes. And it starts with that guy in the backfield, Brady Oliveira. We know what he can do when he gets the ball. There were some times in the past where, for some reason, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers didn't want to give him the ball. And when he doesn't get the ball, he'll let you know. So if Tommy decides not to give him the ball, he's going to let him know. But he has to give him the ball. He has to slow down the pass rush. He can't allow Zach to take hits. Zach only has so many more hits left in him. He's 37, soon to be 38, and he's taken a lot of hits over his career. He took a bunch last year, and we saw what those hits did to him. So you have to protect him by any means necessary, and the best way to do that is utilize that big offensive lineman. They brought in Broxton, one of the best offensive linemen in the game, to team up with Newfield and Stanley Bryant, a future Hall of Famer. So utilize those guys, and to do that, run the ball as much as you can, and that's going to set up Zach for those big plays. But you can't allow Zach to go out there and throw the ball 30, 40 times and take hits and think they're going to have a successful year. They have to run this offense through Brady Oliveira to make sure Zach does not take any unnecessary hits. Otherwise, I don't know how much longer he's going to last this year.
Appreciated our Milt Stegall. We will see you Thursday night for the opener in Hamilton. Well, the panel will also be in Ottawa on Saturday as the Red Blacks welcome the Elks to town. And since their overtime win in the 2016 Grey Cup against Calgary, the Red Blacks have failed to make the playoffs 5 of the last 8 seasons. Their 2024 semifinal loss to the Argonauts was their only postseason appearance since 2018. Here are the most impactful players on Ottawa this season, courtesy of Dave Naylor.
This offseason has brought a new flavor to the Ottawa Red Blacks, with potential impact players being added to several positions on the field under new head coach Ryan Dinwiddie. Starting in the backfield, where the Red Blacks believe they've found the answer in free agent running back Greg Bell.
The carry inside the 5, touchdown. Bell finds the end zone.
Bell is 27, heading into his 3rd CFL season after breaking the 1,000-yard barrier last year in Hamilton over 15 games. But the biggest changes in Ottawa are on defense, where there is a new man in the middle in former Edmonton Elk linebacker Niles Morgan.
Phil Potts, tackle made by Morgan for a loss.
There he is. That's why he leads the league in tackles coming in.
The former Notre Dame star has been a tackling machine during his 5 seasons in the CFL and will bring an athletic dimension to the Ottawa defense. Up front, the Red Blacks are looking for a pass rushing boost from newly acquired defensive end Luigi Villan. The 27-year-old Ottawa native has spent the past 4 seasons in the NFL. Should give the Red Blacks a presence off the edge and some nice roster flexibility as they retool following last year's 4-win season.
It really does feel like there is so much new in Ottawa this season. That, of course, starts when they hired Ryan Dinwiddie as their new head coach. But I think the biggest, obviously, announcement coming was the quarterback. And we saw Drew Brown absolutely struggle last year. You know what, too? He did have the injuries, but the year before he was quite good. But Dinwiddie saying that it's going to be right now Jake Mayer's team. So when you look at that and you have at least, knowing where you're going, that has to help leading into a season, does it not, Enoch?
Absolutely, Kate. I think this Ottawa Red Blacks team, before even the preseason started, they are the most interesting team to me. There's so many changes. We could talk about them really the whole show, them alone, starting with the quarterback like you mentioned, Kate. But Jake Mayer going for as a starting quarterback to me is a huge change. But it's not that far off. I think this is a guy who's comfortable with Ryan Dinwiddie's offense. This is a guy who spent some time in Calgary. Maybe there's some overlap over there that he was able to kind of get accustomed and used to the offensive scheme that Ryan Dinwiddie brings. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen going forward. The other guy that I'm looking at is A.J. Allen on defense. We saw Niles Morgan is another guy that was added on defense. But A.J. Allen is a guy that came from the Grey Cup winning Saskatchewan Roughriders, and now he's got a lot more responsibility. The more money you get, the more responsibility you get, and he's about to find that out.
Were you shocked a little bit that, I mean, you've been around RD, that he made the quarterback decision before Drew played the snap in the preseason? Drew didn't play anything in the preseason at the time he made that decision. Was that shocking?
Not to me. RD, if you know RD rides to the beat of his own drum. He does what he wants, how he feels, and it could be one thing one way and it could change the next.
I believe that's a good thing. I mean, look, we know we're all big boys and girls here. It's and the reality of this is you make the best decision for the team. And the fact that, RD made that decision early, it also tells me this, mark my words, Drew Brown will be in a different uniform by Labor Day. He will not be a red-black by Labor Day. With this, the way this is played out, it tells me, and there's some value, there'll be some value for him other places, especially with injuries happen. But first quarterback injury, look for Drew Brown to be there.
We saw the way he played in that final preseason game as well, too. He was proving a point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he had his opportunity last season, but we'll see what happens in the nation's capital right now. It is Jake Mayer's team coming up after the break. We know whose team it is in Calgary. We speak VA and the Stamps.
I'm calling for him to be MOP, win the Grey Cup, and the Grey Cup MVP.
There's no more electric quarterback in the CFL when he's on than Vernon Adams Jr.
Big play, VA at it again.
He's going to play so well, he may even be top Canadian. He's not even Canadian. So that's the type of year I'm expecting from Vernon Adams.
I'm glad I'm doing it here. I've always wanted to play here, so why not extend and keep building on something special?
After a difficult 2024 season, the Stampeders were back in the playoffs in 2025 and are looking to reascend again this season as hosts of the Grey Cup. They reestablished their culture a year ago, and a big part of that culture was the addition of Vernon Adams, who needs to have an even bigger impact in 2026.
VA somehow dances away from three. Are you kidding me? Vernon Adams Jr. just took an absolute mess, polished it, and it turned into a diamond.
He's passed for close to 12,000 yards the past 3 years and just signed a 2-year extension. But Adams did have some late season struggles last year and will be looking for consistency across 18 games.
Puts it up for grabs. Dejon Brissett caught it. Dug it off the helmet of a Tiger Cat defender.
Dejon Brissett had a career-high 65 receptions for over 900 yards last season with the Argos and will be looking for his first 1,000-yard season.
In trouble, he's hammered. The ball is out, and the Calgary Stampeders defense has done it again.
Clarence Hicks gets things started.
Defensively, Clarence Hicks was given a big raise before training camp and will be looking to build on his 12 sacks, which was good for third in the league a year ago. With Flo Arimolade returning to full health this season, teams won't be able to slide protection Hicks' way, opening up even more opportunities to get to the quarterback.
Enoch was just telling us that he has some inside report on the Calgary Stampeders and that Clarence Hicks looks like he's on a different level, Enoch.
Looks like a beast. This is what I'm being told from Calgary camp over there. You know how Flo Arimolade is already as a defensive end and how much nightmares he brings to these quarterbacks. But Clarence Hicks has been getting his feel, and he's starting to understand exactly how the game goes. And last year, he was trying to find his own. But this year, I'm looking forward to see what kind of damage he's going to cause. And then Flo, we know what he's going to be able to do on that defense. Bob Slowick has this defense running like a well-oiled machine, so I'm not even worried about that. But you look at this offense for the Calgary Stampeders, Davis. This is probably one of the most deep receiving core, and especially because they have a deep range when it comes to Canadian receivers, and that allows for flexibility in the roster. So you got to look at this team and know that they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah, and midway through the season, this is one of the teams that should get better as the season progresses because of the injury issues. You have guys coming back. We don't know when.
Reggie.
We don't know when they're coming back and how they'll be when they return. But you would expect that. And they're young. They are young at a lot of different places as well. So, I mean, for me, and go back to Hicks for a minute, he's a defensive back, wide receiver. We talk body types, a wiggle. Like the guy has. Yeah. We watched him last year, pulled some tape of him last year, and when you talk about starting, stopping, bend, wiggle, I mean he's got the wiggle of a NBA two guard. I mean he's got some serious wiggle and to try to handle that. And I'm guessing, when you're talking to Flo and other people that are around him, he's probably gotten bigger and stronger because he knows if he gets bigger and stronger, this league might not be able to keep him, or if they do, they're going to pay him a whole lot of money because he has special movement at his size.
X factor on this defense, the announcement that they just made, Jalen Hutchins coming back.
Yeah, that's huge.
John Bowman's going to have a field day over there.
You're still losing guys. Jacob Roberts, Damian Alford, both gone. But you're right. When we saw that Hutchins is back, too, I mean, and by the way, we doubted the Calgary Stampeders a year ago. We had no idea what to expect. Guess what? We have wildly high expectations this season with the Calgary Stampeders. No one would be shocked if they are at McMahon Stadium for the 113th Grey Cup. Speaking of the Grey Cup, coming up after the break, we will make our predictions. And maybe Milt will weigh in as well. Part of the show where these guys look like complete geniuses or complete fools. So let's have your Grey Cup picks for 2026, Enoch Mwamba.
Listen, first I'm going to say that last year my picks ended up in the Grey Cup, including the Grey Cup champions.
That doesn't count.
What?
We're talking about this year.
That is true.
This is where I'm going.
Yes.
The Calgary Stampeders are coming out of the West. They're going to face the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats are going to win it. This pains me to say this. I'm not one to, favor the Hamilton Tiger Cats, but this is a team that is going to be consistent, and they got both Levi Mitchell.
Yep. I got out of the West. I got Winnipeg coming out of the West. I think they picked up some key pieces for a team that's already, this defense, I think, 5 years in a row have been the top defense in the league when you talk about points allowed. They picked up some key pieces. I like Winnipeg on the West. Montreal in the East. The Alouettes. They don't lose much. They're back. Their young quarterback is better and stronger. Hopefully, I got the Alouettes in the finals to meet the Bombers, and the Alouettes win.
I had a really hard time with this year. I had the Alouettes and the Tiger Cats. I have the Tiger Cats coming through the East. But on the West, I do think the Riders' window is closing just because of age. But I do think they get it done for the first time in franchise history and go back-to-back Grey Cup champions. I mean, how incredible for that organization would it be? But the BC Lions are right there as well. I mean, this was so difficult this season. Chaz, you like the Alouettes. Enoch, you and Milt both liking those Hamilton Tiger Cats. AK like the Calgary Stampeders. And I like the Rough Riders to repeat as Grey Cup champions. We will find out in 6 months' time. Thanks so much for watching the CFL on TSN Season Preview Show. We will see you Thursday from Hamilton when the Tiger Cats and the Alouettes kick things off as we bring you every game until November the 15th for the 113th Grey Cup from Calgary.